Let's go to Puerto Rico, Charlie.
Okay, go for it.
Well, the coffers are empty and...
Kind of empty. That's what they say. I don't know if I believe them.
Well, Puerto Rico announced that it has avoided default on its more than $350 million in bonds payments, but now there's nothing collective in the wallet left. Listen.
That is why, starting today, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico will have to claw back revenues pledged to certain bond issues in order to maintain essential public services. We have taken this difficult step in the hope that Congress will act soon. But let us be clear, we have no cash left.
Well, that's pretty clear. Joining us now from the phone, live, Puerto Rico, municipal bond expert Vasileios Sfyris. He's managing partner of First Southern Securities and, of course, Fox Business senior correspondent Charlie Gasparino. Charlie, did they default or not? When you default on some bonds to pay back the debt on others, isn't that a default?
Well, let's be clear here. They have not defaulted on their full faith and credit bond, and that's a big thing. Full faith and credit is the GO bond. They defaulted, apparently, on, and your guest can point this out, on other bonds which don't carry the full faith and credit. So if you know a municipality's in trouble, you're an average investor, the safest bond that you get, it's not totally safe, because remember, I think Detroit defaulted on its GO bonds, is the full faith and credit. And what clearly what the governor is saying here is that that's coming next, that we're running out of money, where we are defaulting on the least, on the bonds that we pledged the least of our resources to, not the ones we pledged the most.
Semantics.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. It's a big thing for a bondholder. You buy GOs, give you the best credit protection. The other bonds don't. But what he's saying is the GOs are coming next.
Vasileios, what does this mean for investors who got talked into buying Puerto Rican bonds because the return was so high?
Well, some investors will feel the pain, but you know, today's GDP payment marks basically the willingness of the Commonwealth to negotiate with investors. I think they're laying the groundwork for the 1/1 payment and you know, kicking the can down the road to the next administration.
Right. I mean, there's going to be. I mean, let's be clear here. Most investors that are in Puerto Rico bonds aren't mom and pops. Although there are some. They've sold, and they've sold at a loss. Mostly what we have here are a bunch of hedge funds that are negotiating with, as you said, the GDB, the Government Development Bank, and the governor of Puerto Rico, where they're saying, listen, here's the type of bond we owe, whether it's a GO on the top end of the spectrum or, you know, one of these other agency bonds on the lower end, and we're going to take a haircut. We're going to get anywhere between 50 and 30 cents on a dollar. And am I right about that? And that's what they want. Now, why do the hedge funds want that?
Because otherwise it's zero, right?
No, they bought at 30.
So they'll pay 30 cents, so they'll get a couple pennies.
They're trying to avoid default from the direct obligations of the Commonwealth, being the GOs or the GDPs or the COFINA bonds, which stand a lot higher on the food chain. And you know, the potential restructuring will come from some of the lower tier credits, like the highway, the infrastructure bonds.
Can I just ask both of you this? We're looking at beautiful pictures of this island nation.
Yeah.
Moody's Analytics says without congressional involvement, Puerto Rico will suffer an economic depression.
Well, they're already
in the D word.
No, they're already in an economic depression. I will say this. If you're the average bondholder and you held onto your bonds thinking there would be some bailout, you're going to get crushed. They're going to cut a deal here that you're not going to make, that the most of the holders, which are hedge funds, are going to make a lot of money because they bought it at 30. The deal will be cut, that the bonds will spike to maybe 50, and they'll make the spread, and that's a lot of money. But if you're the average guy and you held out on this thing, you will be getting crushed.
Vasileios, quickly, if people are, and I'm just thinking for the average individual taking a vacation to Puerto Rico, is it safe? I mean, will there be police that are paid? What is the status on the ground there?
I mean, essential services will get paid. You might see a little less workforce around, but you know, that needs to happen. About 25% of the island's workforce is employed by the Commonwealth, and I mean, the government has to become more efficient.
Yeah,
they can get more efficient.
Okay, great to have both of you. Thank you so much.
Puerto Rico's Chicago, and this is going to be Chicago in 10 years.
Well,
if we don't get their act together, too.
It is a lesson on the horizon, perhaps, for some municipalities.